Hey, welcome to the Danger Zone. It's Ashley. Everything in this video was found on a public domain. The full disclaimer is down below. Lots of love and many blessings your way. It's been a minute, you guys, since I've put out a video on Harry and Meghan. This fence and these dogs are giving me a fit. Let's get on with it. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate you so much. The royal family are quite embarrassed of Harry right now. They don't feel like he's living up to his potential or his bloodline. Why, you wonder? Listen to this. Meghan has in some way, somehow, convinced Harry that his place is at home, and he's agreeing to stay at home, sit back, take care of the house and the laundry, and allow her to be the breadwinner. And she's so thrilled, but there's a couple of problems. We'll talk about that in just a second. I spoke about this probably 7 or 8 months ago. Jessica Maroney has landed herself a deal. She's going to do this I Do Redo show. Initially, her idea was to throw bachelor parties for these men getting ready to marry, flying in all these exotic women from all over the world. That turned out to be a big old flop. So now she's going to give these people who had a really crap wedding their wedding of their dreams. And now, initially, this was just Maroney's own personal gig. I was told that Meghan threw a fit and Jessica agreed to allow her to co-host a couple of times. And to be closer to that entire environment, Meghan and Harry are now moving to LA for the summer, where she'll be co-hosting several of those episodes with Maroney, which was the excuse given for their move. I'm being told there's a lot more to that story than meets the eye. She's really beating the streets for work right now. So much so that she even contacted Trevor Engelson, the ex-husband who don't want to be around her. Even his friends at his bachelor party made fun of her in their toast. That's how little these people like her. Needless to say, she was ghosted. I was told that nobody from his office returned her phone call as of yet. The decision of Harry staying at home while she wins the bread has most definitely infuriated the Queen, to the degree that it's now being said the Queen is going to strip her of Duchess and put her as Countess. I was also told, however, the royal family, aside from Andrew pulling whatever he's doing, seem to be in way better spirits these days. Okay, so Trevor's not the only one that has recently ghosted Meghan. So we've all heard about Meghan and her political aspirations. I was told that she contacted Hillary's office and she has yet to return her phone call. I guess what Meghan didn't realize is when she was sitting in that position as Duchess in the royal family, she was a useful tool at that time for all of these people that are now turning their backs on her. Speaking of turning their backs, listen to this. So in the beginning of that relationship, when that marriage took place, her mother was a huge asset for Meghan. Meghan desperately needed her mother's presence in her life to modernize the royal family, of course, showing her mom off as often as she could. Now, Doria, she didn't do it for free. There was a method behind her madness, too. She's quite rich today because she did show up and play the role. Face it, I believe with all my heart, if Doria knew that her money relied on her showing up to Christmas at Sandringham when the Queen invited her, she would have been there. But she knew exactly what her role was going into this. She simply needed to show up at a few of these functions and call it a day. And now that she's made her money, she no longer wants to play along. And we're reading these stories. It's now coming out saying that Meghan and her mother aren't really close at all. Who do you think put those stories out there? I personally believe Meghan did, so she wouldn't feel it necessary to explain her mother's absence moving forward. I've always been told that it was her dad and Samantha who basically raised her. Her mother was too busy getting her life together, and she would show up once or twice a year. And I guess that explains Meghan's maternal instincts or lack thereof. After all, she wants to leave little Archie behind, right? To go win that bread. Seems like, however, that karma is in full effect. Everyone seems to be ghosting Meghan and Harry, including the guy that owns the mansion they're staying in on Vancouver Island. Allegedly, Frank Gistra, and I hope I said that right, has asked them to move, which is another reason why they're scrambling to look for a place in LA, if it fits them logistically, of course. Now, is that why she contacted Hillary, who's really good friends with this man? Meanwhile, she and Harry are holed up in the house. Remember how bad she treated Amy Pickrell? Nothing's changed as far as her treatment towards her people. They say that she and Harry have been sending these Scotland Yard protection officers, provided to them via taxpayers' money, out to get groceries for them on coffee runs. How absolutely pathetic can you get? I'm super confused. Is that what they were provided for? These protection officers, who have been highly trained, are being used and abused as if they were staff that they left behind when they quit the royal family. They should go out and get their own coffee and their own groceries. They opted for the real world experience, remember? Their actions, you guys, to me, remind me of something very, very familiar. Before becoming sober, I felt like I couldn't connect with people, physically or emotionally. I disconnected myself from others, friends, family. I felt completely alone, like I couldn't talk to anybody, nobody would understand me. I felt left out. I felt discontent. I felt as if, nobody wanted to be with me except those that I had something in common with. I'm starting to recognize this same pattern in them. I can't say for a fact one way or the other. Actions speak louder than words to me. But they both, even Meghan, as much as she loves the limelight, have gone into hiding, isolating themselves from the world. It's not like they come from poverty. They don't have an excuse. They could go out and start living life, even if they're worried about paparazzi. You know what I'm saying? Their hiding is unexplainable to me. The only explanation I can give is from my own experience. And we've all noticed the decline in Harry. Really don't want that on anybody. But if it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. I'll see you soon and we'll talk fast. Y'all stay safe and be blessed.